Hello, it's Simon from South Coast Pictures. As you know, we don't just do wedding photography, we also hire out photo booths. And over the 4 years we've been doing that now, we've noticed a lot of people are making the same mistakes with their booths, which means they're not getting maximum engagement from their guests, and therefore paying us for effectively not a lot. So over the next series of videos, we're going to give you our top 5 tips on how to maximise your photo booth so you get the most amount of fun, games, frolics and embarrassing moments for you and your guests. Every few days we'll put another video up, so make sure you keep checking the social media pages to get to the next one. The first tip we're going to give you is location, location, location. So many people put the photo booth at the back of the hall, in a side room, out the way somewhere. From an operational point, this is lovely because it's nice and quiet, we've got space, we can do what we need. However, people only go and visit the booth if they know it's there. If they're passing the toilet or passing to go to the toilet even, they won't stop. They might on the way back, but then they're not going to have their friends with them or whoever they're going to drag in the booth. And even then, they'll only go when they need the loo. So if we would suggest putting the photo booth somewhere near a dance floor, possibly just off to the side. That way, no matter what time of the event, no matter what they're up to, people will be passing the booth and more likely to drag someone in. That way you'll get more photos, more thoughts, more people, and a lot more fun at the end of it, and a lot more bang for your buck. So like I say, check in a couple of days and we'll get the next video for you. Hello, it's Simon from South Coast Pictures and welcome back to part 2 of our how to get the most from your photo booth series. Tip 2 we're going to talk to you about is timing. Probably one of the hardest things to get right, but if you do, it will make a massive impact to the amount of fun you and your guests will have. Open the booth too early and people will still be getting in, getting settled, saying hello, getting drinks, etc. Leave it too late, people will already have veered off to the dance floor, the bar, or in some cases heading home. Neither of which you want, because it means we're standing around to photographing no one. So what we suggest is you know your guests. Have a think of what they're like. Are they likely to be there early? Are they likely to be late? Is there lots of kids? Has it been a long day? Is there a lot of them got drives home? Things like that. And pick a time accordingly. So normally for a standalone sort of birthday party or event only, we sort of suggest something in the region of 8 till 11, something like that. That gives most people enough time to get there, get settled, and still use the booth before they're calling last orders. If it's a wedding or an all-day event or there's lots of kids, we'd always suggest having it early. People will be, well, for weddings people will already be there, so if they have to wait till 9 o'clock for the booth to open, they're going to be getting bored. If there's kids, they're going to be getting tired and cranky. They're not going to want to use the booth at that point, and people just get fed up of waiting. So like I say, you know your guests, have a think of what they do and maximise that time. Hello and welcome to our third top tip for how to get the most out of your photo booth hire. And that is to make sure you pick the right booth for your event. Now every supplier, every booth is slightly different, and every booth has different features and people that it will operate for better. So with ourselves we have Hello and welcome to our fourth top tip on how to get the most from your photo booth. Today I want to talk to you about choosing the right features for your booth. As you've no doubt worked out, many booths are so much more than just taking photos with silly props. They can do a lot more. So for us, we've got green screen, we've got video messages, even karaoke if you're feeling brave, and that's just to name a few. So again, each feature you add to the booth will create more fun, more unique memories, more ideas, more things you can do. However, the more things you add, the more complicated it is for your guests to use. More options, more features, which for the normal person is fine, but you can imagine after a couple of beers it becomes a little bit more of a struggle. Also, of course, the more features, more options, more things there are for your guests to do, the longer they're going to be spending in the booth, and therefore the longer the queue gets. The slower it moves, the more your guests get frustrated that they can't get straight in the booth. Personally, we'd suggest selecting 2 or 3 of your favourites, or things you couldn't do without, and then go with that, rather than ticking everything on the box and giving your guests too much to think about. Sometimes keep it simple really is the best option. See you soon. Hello and thank you for staying with us until our 5th and final top tip for getting the most out of your photo booth. Now, the final tip seems really obvious, but honestly the amount of people that don't do it and the amount of help they can get because of it is ridiculous. And that tip is to speak to the venue before we get there. Venues are used to having photo booths at event now. They're quite common. Every party, birthday, christening, wedding has got one. So they know how they best work for their venue. They may only have 1 or 2 places where they can physically go. There may be things that they will need to move around. Maybe relocate the buffet or something like that. You don't want that being done in the middle of the party while everyone's trying to enjoy themselves. Much better to let the venue know beforehand so they can be totally prepared and we can just turn up and set up without disturbing everything. Also, there's quite a serious factor that some venues will need copies of our insurance and pat testing. That's fine, they're all available. But if we turn up to an event and they've not got that, they have every right to turn us away. So you really don't want that to get to that situation. Let them know. They can offer their advice, their guidance, they can help you set everything up, or at least be prepared for everything, and there's going to be no hiccups on the night. So, like I say, thank you for following us through the top 5 tips. If you can follow those, I hope you have a very fun time and get lots of embarrassing photos. See you soon.